And we're off. I don't even know how to talk anymore. I really don't. I struggle with having so many thoughts about reaching out to Seth. I feel like Seth would love this thing. But it's hard when people, and rightfully so, burn bridges. I guess I'm a bridge burner. But it sucks because like there's some part of me that's like, oh yeah, he's still my friend. Well, anyways. Okay, I guess I should talk about stuff. So the chair feels good when everything, so how do I start this conversation? If you have a really heavy object and you want it to be stable, you can't, if you're just gonna sit on top of it, it's gonna wobble around. You have to have pressure and tension and spring and whatever mechanism you're gonna have such that when things move, like there's a reaction force, whether it's a tension pulling something to where you want or a pressure because now you've twisted and now this is all to say that your control over the device has a lot to do with like if you've loaded tension into it. Like if you're gonna use a spring, there's good, like if the spring's not compressed at all, then it's gonna be all wibbly-wobbly. But like if you compress it or stretch it really tight, and then like that's now the static version of the system, and there's another really tight spring. Now everything's kind of locked in because if you move a little bit one way, there's like a really heavy pressure. That's how I think of it in my mind. I feel like I was trying to collapse a lot of that to something that the lay folk can understand. But that's all to say that I like the pressure of my knees on the chair. That way I feel locked in. Versus if I was just on top of it and I moved a little bit, there wouldn't be much of a reaction for the control. So that's all to say, and I think I'm learning that when you have the helmet visor down, you get a weird compression-y, echoey. I don't. The music people will know. But I really like. Okay, so now that I try to vaguely confuse absolutely everyone. Okay, so now when you're sitting in here, it's nice that. So when you're riding without a chair, you're just standing on it. That pressure helps. Well, you know, foot on each pedal. This feels like an extension of that, where now you're locked in even more. So your feet, now these are your feet, and all you have to move around is your body. That's your reaction. But you have all these other places to push. Like you can push on these bars down here. I also like that feature where you just lean back. Learning lots of things, like, is it better to have this chair locked in forward or at this way? It all depends on what you're building. Like if you're building a motorcycle or a flying thing, then maybe it makes sense to have stuff like this. But if you're just building a little chair for whoever, non-athletic person, I guess I would say, then I need to make, either I just throw a reaction wheel on it and say whatever, or if I'm thinking for the athletes, like, oh, you want to enjoy ride this thing, it's like a motorcycle, but there's handles everywhere. So it's fun to be like leaning in this position. But you can also have your arms here. Also, I wonder. Yeah. I don't even. Is there anywhere this could go? Where does this have? Because I don't want to hold it. I also have no idea about the low light conditions. That's kind of why I was out here testing, just to see if what this camera can pick up. I'd rather have. I don't want to think about the camera. That's the problem. So you're just gonna have to enjoy. Ooh, I have idea. Hold on. Alright, well I guess we have to deal with some wobble. Alright. And if I want, okay, yeah, that's the thing. I guess I have to put my knees where I want, if I want the light up. Because I do this. Clearly pools. Blood clearly pools. It's like, can we catch that truck? Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Woo. Yeah, slow speeds are the hardest thing. Momentum is your friend. See, standing up's nice. That's where I feel like I have the control. But I've been wanting to practice the sitting down racing. But I can't see around these hills, so I can't go too fast. There's probably some old dude walking his dog, which he does. Like, I know these people. Not super well, but This ain't a close course. Another random thing is oscillation. It's really hard to hold onto what you would call like a balance point, but I forget all the wordings, but it's like an infinitesimally small balance point. It's like, if you can't just hold it because you'll fall off. So that's why you need an oscillation. You're basically bouncing as you fall off the other end. Something is loading you in the other way, so you know you're going to hit a bounce. So that way, if you want to stay on this edge, if you want to stay on the line, you got to oscillate on each side of it. So that's why. If you're getting going, maybe that's like a whole body thing. Like you're like flailing. Maybe that's like built into our genes. Built into our DNA. It's not quite a perfect sitter yet, but I believe it could be.